Maybe if initially when MyuNgSiK went in there and he had that Nexus already made and he got the Photon Overcharger up, it would have gone a little bit better.
Yeah. I worry for Deer, man. His head's shaking, his body's shaking.
Yeah. Let's go into game number 2, guys, here on Terraform for Deer versus MyuNgSiK.
Push it.
Down here in the bottom right in the red. Down a game now. It is Deer. Not looking too happy.
No, almost like a fake smile there.
He's got his top button too.
Yeah, it's tight. Up to the top left in blue. His opponent is MyuNgSiK. Keeping it unbuttoned.
Yeah, you're not supposed to button that.
Not unless you have a tie or a bow tie, like bow tie boys.
That's what we've become. Only on Star League days, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's speak for yourself. I go out like this.
We got some stares when we were getting coffee earlier outside. It was kind of funny.
Those white guys that sit at the table. One guy's drinking hot coffee. It's 35 degrees, and he's wearing a bow tie. They wear opposite color bow ties, opposite color shirts. What are they doing?
Is that a guillotine?
Yeah. It's the 200th set.
Of Star League?
I guess so. So that means
all sets?
So that means someone's gonna have to get their head chopped off.
I suppose.
Not
maybe
gonna
Deer's
happen.
gonna do it with his ninja swords.
Not gonna happen on camera, I'm afraid, but someone will die tonight.
Yeah. Fortunately, you guys won't get to see it.
I mean, it's humane punishment, so. What compared to, you know, actually executing someone with a sword?
Yeah,
I
suppose.
Guillotine's not yet introduced in Game of Thrones. Poor Theon. So, a much faster core here from MyuNgSiK, leading us to believe he will be going for a quick tech. I think a Stargate again, to be honest. He has that same fake pylon as natural.
Yeah, it could be. We'll see.
Oh! It was aggressive, those pros.
They were getting into it there in the bushes. We didn't quite get to see what was happening behind those rocks.
Nobody really knows.
Forever remain a mystery.
Well, a quick chrono on the Stalker, actually, from MyuNgSiK.
I wonder if he wants to deny the scout pretty aggressively here.
I think you're exactly right. I think he's going to kill this probe and then start a Stargate. Oh, well, everything went wrong. Bit of a misjudge there on that timing. Absolutely would have liked to wait for that. Those few seconds he gained there are definitely not worth it being scouted. Counter Twilight counts for Deer. Well, it's possible that Deer actually goes DTs as a response to this.
Yeah, it could be, but it's going to come out a little bit later. You know, as MyuNgSiK did go for that aggressive tech build.
With the Mothership core coming out from MyuNgSiK, absolutely not going to be DTs on his side of things. If it is, it's insanely expensive gas-wise. He'll have no units to support it, and will be very vulnerable as a result. Line of sight blocker, awkward.
Deer got the first shot, but he's still going to move away. He's not sure what's on the other side of that blocker, so.
You know, everyone's mother always tells them, like, never, you know, look left and look right before you cross the street, look left again. Never walk on the line of sight blocker. You don't know what's on the other side.
Never check the watchtower.
Never check
line
the
of sight
watchtower.
blocker.
Just don't do that.
You see it all the time, though. Even out of the best players in the world.
Oh, boy. This is,
MyuNgSiK.
Taking some damage.
Damage.
Ouch.
Well, we do have a pylon. Well, not yet, but that probe is looking to put down a pylon. I
Robo
assume.
here? Okay. Sorry, I was like a little bit concerned. I'm like, he's going for 4-gate blink.
There's a pylon in the way. He's like, oh, sorry. No.
Well, that was awkward. I hope
Yeah.
he didn't see me. He wasn't paying attention to that one. That one Stalker's actually looking for him. He absolutely knows. He definitely saw it.
He's got his own pylon going down in a very strange place.
Oh, man.
Not too close.
If he kills this probe, it really weakens Deer's position. Finds it. And Deer looks like he's just going to try to check for the Nexus. He knows the probe is dead. Doesn't actually get to see. This is awkward for Deer. Limited information here. He definitely wanted to be the more aggressor in this situation. And now he doesn't know if a Nexus is going down, so he's like, he makes his own Nexus. What if there was a Nexus faster and he's just late? It's really a frustrating position, whereas from MyuNgSiK, he's just going to put his Nexus down. He knows Deer was poisoned to be aggressive, so he knows this is a smart choice, and his Nexus will likely be ahead. So MyuNgSiK just has slightly more information, which is so important in this matchup.
Observer going to come out here first for Deer. We'll see if he sends that directly over to try to get that information, or does he just keep it at home to try to snipe the Observer of MyuNgSiK that may come across. One probe is going to come in here and get the nice scout here, sees no Nexus. Should be pretty happy about that.
It's almost as if he was expecting DTs based on that positioning, you know? He's up on top of the ramp with sentries blocking the ramp.
Yeah, in a way.
So he's just...
I guess he wasn't sure. I mean, he saw the Twilight Council coming up, so he's like,
yeah,
just got to be safe here.
It's all these little, like, slight mental edges that MyuNgSiK has in this game that have pushed him slightly ahead here. And this is going to be a very passive PvP for the mid game, because neither player can really get an advantage.
MyuNgSiK going to be pretty happy about his position.
Things to look for are, when does the Bay go down? When does the Forge go down? And when does the third base go down? Those are the three things we'll be waiting for.
Yeah.
I guess the crazier outcome is, does someone add like 3 gates and try to do an attack with their Blink Stalkers? But that's very unlikely.
Already said it pretty well, that the Forge timing usually is when you know you can't kill your opponent and you know that he can't kill you. So you're safe to go for those upgrades. And they put it down at exactly the same time. So
like, literally exactly the same time.
Yeah. So these guys on the same page here.
It's almost as if these two are pro gamers.
Whoa.
Ooh, look at that Observer snipe. Again, further the mental edge that MyuNgSiK is going to get here. Which means the Observer will have to be replaced. Which means more robotics time lost. If he doesn't replace it, it's always scary. What if he loses a second Observer and then DTs cause him a problem? He knows DTs are always a threat because the Twilight Council's out there. They both know that. Observers are very important. We saw Deer in the previous series try to use DTs many times to actually just get sort of a huge advantage, hoping that Rain wouldn't have any. So this is a funny Stalker position here. They're very concerned about each other. The Observer is also leading the charge, so could be sniped if he's not careful. Might just try to get a sentry and get out here. A better position for MyuNgSiK overall. Ooh, he's going to commit.
Deer's almost hiding these Immortals, consciously or not.
Right, yeah, possibly unintentionally. Okay, he doesn't commit. He sees the edge of those Immortals, I think.
MyuNgSiK has been much more on point with getting a lot of his probes out here. He's going to go up to 48 much faster.
Yeah, I think he's just utilized his Chrono Boost a little bit more effectively. Deer, on the other hand, I mean, we're looking at, if you look at the unit counts, like, everything is exactly the same except 2 Observers for MyuNgSiK, and he has an extra Stalker. And, of course, the probe count you already talked about. The +1, the Colossus timing, and the range timing are all almost the same. Deer having a slightly faster first Colossus, but it's going to be completely insignificant.
Deer's like, oh, we're really matching up here, so I see your 3 gates, and I immediately put down 3 of my own. Stick together on this.
MyuNgSiK does get his third Nexus first, and he's going to check to see if Deer has one. He sees that he does not.
Yeah. Well, we saw Deer play on this map against Rain, and it was kind of his worst game in terms of just army control, which is one of the most important things for PvP. So, still favoring MyuNgSiK, but we'll have to see. Like, we didn't really get to see much from MyuNgSiK in terms of army control in PvP.
Yeah.
So far today.
Right, and you know, you say army control is one of the most important things. The longer the game goes, it becomes the only important thing, you know, usually, right? As armies start to get closer to maxed out, time warps, your Colossus splitting, your Zealot warpings from behind, things like this are game deciders. I just can't even believe how close these two are in production. Like, we should see charge in just a second for Deer. Everything MyuNgSiK is doing is just slightly ahead. I'm going to lose an Observer. It was so funny if, like, Deer lost his, like, a few seconds later. He's actually going to go for an attack.
Yeah, he's really pumping out the Zealots here. Looking to just hit some sort of slight timing with the extra gates that he got just a little bit faster than Deer, I suppose. looking to bully that third base.
Oh,
Look at this! Oh! Only 4 go down, but that could have been so much more damage.
Good reaction there by Deer. Look at the supplies as he has this massive first warping because the gates are not ready yet. Look how the huge supply that he takes. He's making an Archon at the front. That's, Hallucination's going to tank a lot.
Yeah. Photon Overcharge is going to come down, but now he's kind of got him, you know, zoned out of the zone third base here. And he could even get a nice concave at the top of the round, too.
This is not an all-in by any means. Like, he has a third base fully mining. He's just really pushing Deer out of position here. It's kind of reminiscent of what happened with Rain and Deer when they played against each other. And he just got into a better position, forced him down the ramp.
So smart, too. Takes out the third base, immediately recalls. He doesn't need to kill Deer right now. He just needs to defend against the possible damage that's going to come out here from this very nice 4-Stalker Harass.
Deer's 4-Stalker Harass is great. He did it really well against Rain. Unfortunately, this time only 10 kills is not... I mean, it's an amazing amount of damage for 4 Stalkers at this point in the game, but he lost his Nexus. And I'm actually going to check. Hold on one sec.
And Deer really needs to find the damage.
He knows that Nexus is up. He knows it's been up for a really long time. What's he going to do?
He's just going to play a passive. Try to max out just a little bit behind MyuNgSiK. Try to get his own third base up just a little bit slower. I mean, he already had it. He's definitely very far behind here. It's going to be up to MyuNgSiK to try to punish Deer.
MyuNgSiK is getting... he's got 10 Zealots ahead. That's where the supply lead comes from, but he's getting his Archons very late. You see the Temple Archive is only just now being added. This is one thing that Deer has that MyuNgSiK does not, because the supply that... If you look at like Archons supply-wise, when you look at a maxed out Protoss, like they don't actually tell the story of how important they are. Like, say you have two maxed out Protoss armies, one army has 8 Archons, the other has 2. Like, the Archons are so much more worth what they are in supply and numbers-wise, so to have this Archon lead is definitely going to be good because he's going to be able to continue that. And like you said, if he gets to max, if they both get to max, all that extra money and stuff doesn't really matter in PvP. You very rarely see PvP fights where both players trade so evenly that it's like, ha, well, I have more money than you, I guess I win now. It's usually one player gets totally annihilated. And
it's very rare. It usually happens once Tempest come out and they add like a sick ton of gateways. And go for like a 16 Stalker Warpin or something ridiculous and try to take out the Tempest.
Yeah, in Supreme late game, where you can actually have the time to get those extra gates. If you have like a 4th base even, you know, something like that.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but we'll see if we get there. It's possible.
But if Deer wins a convincing fight, just one, he'll likely win the game. So he's just hoping for that. And in PvP, that's kind of this turtle moment you were talking about. Okay, checks this army. He sees like, okay, that's a massive amount of Zealots. So he wants to make sure his Archons are in position. They need to be to stop these Zealots from just surrounding and stopping his Colossi.
MyuNgSiK also getting a very impressive amount of Archons at this point.
Yeah.
War Prism does go undetected. Very nice little harass here at the third base. There's nothing to defend.
Yeah. This actually could be a great opportunity here for Deer. They kill a lot of probes, and this is going to force MyuNgSiK to attack. Look at this, even pylons to help zone out those Zealots. He knows the big edge here that MyuNgSiK has is a Zealot count. All right. Going to engage here. The time warps are beautiful from MyuNgSiK.
Oh, and look at all the Zealots wrapping around, too. He's got them covered. The Colossi bunching up, too. All the Colossi of MyuNgSiK getting the sick hits. And it all goes down. GG. MyuNgSiK will 2-0.
He's got to go take some rest before he goes to that final match, man.
He's got to get some eye drops or something.
Yeah. Deer goes 0-4 in the group, not taking a single set. His harassment killed every probe in the third base, but it just doesn't matter. If you lose your army, that's all that counts. That's what we were talking about.
It doesn't matter. And just straight up got outplayed there by MyuNgSiK across the entire PvP, even in the first game as well. So
and now
MyuNgSiK will get another chance here.
Exactly. It's the rematch. The rematch between MyuNgSiK and Deer. We started with MyuNgSiK's play versus this monster of a Terran. And we're going to come all the way back, full circle. Deer, very frustrated. His tournament life ends here. We'll have to see him next year.
And I think that's another round of 16 defeats.
Yeah.
I think he did make it last time as well. And keep in mind, this is the guy that knocked Sue out of Challenger. So
this is the guy who,
to think about,
you know, has fallen so far since he was the best Protoss in the world in 2013. Never been able to return to his final form. Some of these one-hit wonders like Joxy, like Seed, you look at them and you think like, Well, they're just definitely done. Deer is way above and beyond those two players results-wise, but he's still not able to return even to like a round of 4. You know, he's not able to grab onto it.
He's not there yet. But guys, we are going to take another, I think maybe 7-minute break here, I'll guess, before we get into that final game between Dream and MyuNgSiK.